the exercise.
Oh yeah.
So
And that's key. You just hit it right. When people think when you exercise you're going to be more tired, but when you exercise, you're actually strengthened, and your body becomes has more endurance. Your heart rate, when you get your heart rate up, working out, and then at a normal rest pace, it's easy. Your heart says, "Oh, we can do this without a thought." It's just a piece of cake.
Wow.
And so stressing your heart through cardio, they say at least 30 minutes a day, walking or doing something kind of exercise. It can be biking, walking, a little running. You don't have to worry about doing a lot of running because sometimes not too good for your knees, they say.
Right,
but
right.
something that can get that heart rate up.
Yeah, got to get that heart rate up. Now, I was alluding to, since you have been here, since the new year. Have you made any? Well, yeah. Do bishops, pastors, do they make New Year's resolutions?
Well,
or they just let the Lord say, whatever the Lord happen, it's gonna happen.
No, you keep rebooting and you keep adjusting according to as you know what you need, regardless whatever in the area of your life. You just reboot and readjust. You don't wait for January 1st to decide that.
Oh,
yeah,
ooh,
yeah. You're constantly saying, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to go to the next level? What do I need to do to improve myself? You got to work on those things. Then delayed gratification, discipline, execution. Those are really the key. So you make your mind up to do something, but then it's the execution, the discipline, delayed gratification, and then it's the commitment to doing what you said you're going to do. Really is more important than just deciding. The deciding is really the key, but implementation.
Yeah. So why do you think that a lot of us have a problem with the implementation?
Well, it's because you don't see immediate results sometimes.
Ah, there you go. Boy, you got to answer. Boy, you got to answer. I'll give you a question. Bam, here's the answer. It's like you got the answer already in your back pocket. So I'm coming on Dan show. I know I got the answers already.
Well, immediate results. Sometimes people don't see something happen immediately, like, for instance, in the spiritual, finance, whatever world it is. But if you stay on it long enough, something will happen. You cannot keep doing something and nothing happens.
Wow. So don't expect the immediate gratification or the immediate payoff.
Right.
It's like when you put your money in the bank, when you you put you have your CDs, you have your investments. There's a maturity factor that comes into play.
Right.
And a lot of us aren't mature.
Well, a lot of times the destination is great. You want to know the destination, but embrace the journey.
Embrace the journey.
Yeah.
So it's like embrace the journey. That means enjoy the journey.
Yes. Accept it. In other words, if you know, for instance, if you're leaving a certain place, your GPS says you got to go through this route to get there. Don't complain about it. Just realize that's going to get you to your route, get you to your destination.
That is so true. I have to confess. I have a little confession to give to you, since this is Community Matters and everybody's just friends here. This past weekend, I went to Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, and to a funeral to a very known singer, pastor, Pastor T. Marshall Kelly.
Yes.
Classic pastor.
Amen.
Most humble person, that I've known. And so on the journey back, I was with my wife.
Okay.
And we were using Mr. Google or Mrs. Google, or whoever. So it was like, okay, I mean, come on. Well, I've been there so many times. I know how to get there. But this time, we used the GPS to go a different route. And she was like, "No, you're going north. No, turn around." I was like, "No, you have to trust this GPS. Trust it." "Oh no, we're going all the way up here. Oh, we're in the mountains. Oh no." I said, "Yeah, but we're still going east.
Right.
We were still going east, no matter if we were going up, down. No matter. I mean, it was some. Oh my goodness, the mountains were scary.
Yeah.
I had to act like I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
I mean, it was some snake mountains, some snake turns.
I know the route you're talking about.
Yeah, and so she was like, "Why? Well, the other way was it 431?
Yeah.
It has mountains, but it's not like oh my goodness, like the way we went. It was like, I mean, it was white knuckle. I was gripped. But I kept telling her, I'm trusting the GPS. I'm trusting the process.
Right.
She was like, oh, no, no. She was like, oh. I mean, it was like big arguments. Well, not arguments, discussion in the car.
Wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was like, I guess that's like how God. And then eventually she was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're getting down. We're getting into some flat land here. Oh, that looks familiar. Okay. There's 75 on 75. Okay, we're saved now.
Yes,
It's
sir.
like,
Yes, sir.
so it's like, but I had to trust the process because a lot of this didn't look familiar, or I haven't been that route in a long time.
Right.
And so it was just, it was crazy. It did look like we were going north, south, east, west. I mean, we were just zigzagging everywhere because of the way the roads were. But when you stayed with the promise, the GPS, it got us there.
Yeah. Because it operates off of a satellite. A satellite has a broader picture. It's higher up, and when you have somebody that's higher up that can see what you can't see.
Sorry, Beck, for calling you out, but I know you're listening. But anyway,
no, you're gonna have those feelings when you're not familiar with your surroundings. You're gonna have these feelings, like gut feelings, that this may not be right. But then you have to realize that, hey, let me see if something is more trustworthy than me. Yeah.
So that's the thing that I guess we need to hold on to in this new year. It's still new. We're just in February, Black History Month. Our people staying in the struggle. We need to trust the process, trust God, even when we're in territory that we can't see. That's what I'm hearing from you. And why is that so important?
Well, because there's a text that come to mind. There's a way that seemeth right to a man.
Ooh, that's so true, boy.
The end thereof. So it's almost like I need some reliable source, credible source, something that has information that I haven't been there. So therefore, can I rely on something that can be trustworthy? And that's what life is about. Everything you do is about faith. I mean, for instance, when you wake up in the morning and you open up a carton of milk or orange juice or whatever and pour it in a glass and drink it, that's an act of faith, because you really don't know what's in it, but you believing that it's trustworthy. So everything we do, turning on a light switch, sitting in a chair, is an act of faith. However, the act of faith that we do, is it on something that's reliable?
Yes.
Can it be trusted? Is it trustworthy? And that's where you are able to know, hey, I'm on a great source. My source is God. I'm on a reliable source. And that's why it says without faith, it's impossible to please him. So there's a certain amount of belief and faith that goes in hand with realizing that I don't know, I need to trust somebody else.
And it's interesting that God has wired us that way to have to have a belief, and we can choose to believe, or we can choose not to believe. We can choose to believe in ourselves, or we can choose to believe in that satellite. I say he's the satellite.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, because he sees things from a different perspective than what we see. When we're flat, we can only see what's in front of us.
Absolutely. Linear.
Linear. There you go. But when he's up there, which he is, he can see the whole terrain. He can see what's around this corner, and he knows what's down that hill. He knows what's happening in that valley.
Absolutely.
So it's like we have to trust something that's bigger than us, that has more sight than us.
Absolutely. No, without a doubt. For instance, he says, the secret things belong to God, but the things revealed belongs to us and our children. And then the Bible says that he does nothing in secret, but he reveals. So there is a revelation that he gives us that we can know, and we have to choose to believe that this revelation is credible and trustworthy. So it's back to belief.
It is. When we're going through these troubling times, or these uncertain things that we don't have an answer to, it's like we just have to trust in him. Yeah. It's like when things seem like it's not going right, which things a lot of times don't, or we're not being treated right. Our people always, we're there all the time, We have to trust the process in spite of what's happening in front of us.
Right. And I heard someone say the other day, accepting the reality that problems, situations, incidents, stuff happens, and that's part of the journey. When you accept that, opposed to being naive to believe that this shouldn't happen, why is this, then you can kind of like, stop the worry and believe that, hey, it's part of the process. The challenges we face, the ups and downs, don't like it, but I got to accept it that it's part of the process. Just like you said, the mountains, the hills, that journey that you saw was part of getting you there. Now, it might have, for instance, there might have been other ways, but the GPS said this is the way. Now, what could have happened was it said this is the way because the other way that you're more familiar with may have had accidents, may have slowdowns, may have been traffic.
Yes.
So there's a reason sometimes it navigates you a certain way. For instance, for me, when I go down 27 going to Avon Park, one occasion it told me to make a left. I'm like, make a left? I'm on US 27. US 27 goes right down into Avon Park.
Yeah.
But then when I made that left, it took me around to this little highway that had no lights. It moved faster, and then it made me have another right. When I got down so far, it brought me right back on the 27. So it took me around something that I wasn't aware of.
Wow. That's. Look at GPS and look at God. So we're gonna get specific because I know when you're on the show, people want specific meat because you have that knowledge. You just have that connection that relates to the people. So first thing I guess we're going to talk about is how can we trust. We're going to talk about relationships. This is relationships. So the first part that I'm thinking about is a relationship process that we can better with ourselves first. That's why I want to see how can we better ourselves to.
That's a good question. And as soon as you said that, I thought about authenticity and integrity, being honest about yourself, trying to get a true understanding and a picture of you. Sometimes we say we think we know ourselves and we don't. And the way we know ourselves, sometimes we get a revelation in community around other people.
So community matters. You guys start taking out some pen and paper, or start texting it in your notes section. Because this is classic class time now. Bishop is teaching now.
Yeah. Well, again, authenticity. It goes back to being true to who you think you are, being honest, looking in the mirror, and not seeing what you want to be, but seeing who you are. And a lot of times, we will put on certain masks and wear certain costumes because we're accepted by people in our circle. But the reality is they're loving or liking the mask and the costume and not really liking me. So then who can I trust with me becomes the issue, because sometimes we don't trust ourselves because we don't like ourselves. And it goes back to really being able to accept who you are. I am who I am.
I had Mayor Demi's here last week.
Oh, okay.
And shout out to Mayor Demi's. He did an excellent job. He's going to be with Gigi Morgan. They're having this 10-year anniversary that Gigi Morgan is putting on this coming Saturday evening. And it's raise your glass. She does a lot for the community. Gigi, you've been here with Gigi, so just want to give a shout out. But what I was thinking about was what he said about choosing people in positions. He chooses people based on their authenticity, how authentic they are, and not how they think they can be in a position.
Right.
But and this is a word that stuck with me, if they're not trying to climb the ladder, but if they're ladders themselves, if they could be used
I like that.
as a ladder.
True.
Wow.
True.
So authenticity.
Yeah, because what happens is when you become the true you, what you do is just it's a byproduct. And the byproduct of it is coming out of you. And as you mentioned, position. So what happens is position, the higher you go up, acts like a magnifying glass to reveal who I am. So I need to make sure I need to be the person I need to be, moving from the micro to the macro. In other words, when I begin to interact with other people, interdependence, fellowshipping with other people so that I won't be the problem, in that I'm the one that might be sabotaging the relationship because I'm not right.
Ooh, so that means that we need to take a self-assessment.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Test of ourselves.
Yeah, and that's an act of humility. And I mean, it takes a lot to be honest to say, "Yep, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer." Yep.
Take that inventory test of yourself. Wow.
It's me. Yeah.
Wow. So from moving from there, being authentic, and taking that self inventory test, it lets you know where you are and where you need to be. So to be a better you in relationships, in a relationship with yourself, you need to be honest with yourself first, and do some of the things to make you that better person.
Absolutely. I mean, that's they call it the preparation stage. That's been taking on in your life all the time. You've been getting ready to not necessarily get with somebody, but you've been preparing yourself so that when you do, you are, the person you need to be.
So what I'm hearing from you, Doc, is that maybe you need to take some time out for yourself. Like if we're talking about relationships, if you've just gotten out of a relationship, maybe you shouldn't jump back in.
Well, I guess there's a principle.
The
Bible says, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." So your ability to be able to be comfortable in your skin, to love yourself, to be able to know who you are, those have a lot to do with being single. See, a lot of times people think being single means being complete and perfect. It doesn't. Single means being able to know who you are. So when you're living single, it's different from being isolated or being being solo or being by yourself. Single means, hey, I'm kind of aware of my ups and downs, my idiosyncrasies. I know that I got an issue with my attitude. I know maybe I got an anger issue. Maybe I got this issue, this proclivity, this. So once you're aware of that, then you can take ownership. Because sometimes we try to make other people responsible.
Say the reason why I'm acting this way is because you.
Oh yeah, that's like explosive dynamite.
Ooh.
I'm this way because of some external thing. Then that's a cop out.
Wow. Ooh, Doc, that's so much to impact in my mind. Because we hear a lot that it's because of my situation.
Yeah.
The man did this to me. That's why I am where I am. I mean, there's a little truth.
Right.
There's a little truth to inequities.
Yeah.
But then what you're saying is acknowledge it and do something about it.
Right.
Don't stay where you are.
Yeah.
And what you're saying to me is that there is the ability to make the adjustment.
Yeah, and when you understand the circle of control and the circle of concern, you can only be concerned about it. You can say, okay, it is what it is. Circle of control is what you just said. Take control. Do something about it. There's something that I can't control, and there's something that I can. And those are the things I need to spend a lot of my energy on, what I can control.
So to get into that mindset of not being the victim but helping yourself so that you can gain that control. I'm talking about people who may have been in abuse or in whatever situation that they, it wasn't their fault too.
Right.
There's still some hope and some levity of getting control.
Absolutely. I mean, it comes to a point where, like I said, the assessment of like a GPS, before you can go to your destination, the GPS locates where you are. And then it kind of like suggests this is the route or gives you that blue line that shows you what you got to do. Now the choice is following that.
Oh, yeah. Because sometimes we may see it and we may be in denial. We may not, we may not be comfortable to.
Hey, I mean, and that's human nature.
That's a comfort zone.
Man, we are the complexity of us can be the big thing, but understanding and breaking it down to really you don't have a crisis. You just have decisions to make.
Ooh. Wow.
Decisions
to make. And
it is. Life is a series of decisions. I've learned that, man. Series of decisions.
It's almost like tax time. Tax time is coming up. Do you file now? Do you file later?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Do you pay? You want to pay now? You pay later.
Yeah.
So it's decisions. These are decisions that we have to make when we're talking about ourselves. And when we're in that valley of decision, and if it's including someone else or even a family, it's not like you're being selfish.
No, no. It's like on this plane. It said, "Put your mask on first."
Ah, wow.
Because you need oxygen running through your body if you're going to assist somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be able to be whole yourself, or be together, to begin to extend yourself to somebody else prior to helping them, and you can't help yourself.
How many of us, have always tried to help somebody else, but we can't help ourselves?
Yeah. And then that's when we become the victim. That's when we begin to complain about nobody care about me, nobody think about me. I'm always doing this for other people. Well, you should not have to have that attitude if you are whole and complete and single. Now I'm giving out of the abundance of what God has given me, opposed to me being a victim. Why nobody taking care of me? Well, once you are taken care of by God, by way of knowing who you are, and then you don't have to worry about what somebody's going to do for you, because it doesn't always come back. But in true life, when you cast your bread upon the water, it will come eventually. It may not come in the way you want it, but it will come in a way that will gratify you and edify you in other ways.
Because I can hear someone saying, well, hey, I tried that, and I'm still not reaping no bounty. How do you get into that attitude of receiving, or that positivity? Everybody don't have the attitude like you, Doc.
Well,
you're Mr. Positive.
No. I have my valleys, I have my ups and downs. In fact, we all go through something. It's a matter of just realizing that I got to make a decision, and I got to stay positive.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean that if I'm not positive in that moment,
right? No,
that means it's just like you're human.
You're human.
You're human. You're gonna just if somebody step on your toe, you're gonna say ouch.
Yeah,
you're gonna have some reaction.
Yeah,
but it's what you do about it.
It's like the adjustment. It's like back in the day when you had those rabbit ears on the